I'm on a date tonight, so I'll have to just looking good at. I'll just do it in front of her, shouldn't I?
Going! He's kept going! He's scored! Oh, Stockport pressure. And the header into the back of the net! That's Palmer! Played in again. And a superb goal! Chelsea did it! Lisa! Rose tries to get the ball in. Wilkinson! The Palmer it's a five-star performance from Stockport County.
All right, we got a small house, but we got a big bloody heart, I tell you.
Sorry about the lateness. I was really engrossed in the England game. Said nobody ever. We miss you, Sir Gareth. Hello and welcome to the landmark 54th episode of SK3 TV, the show for the thinking county fan. As long as what that county fan is thinking is, well, there's no point getting all dramatic about stuff. It's only the 10th of June. Oh, it's dragging. Yes, we promised you episodes whenever there's been a build-up of things to talk about, and we feel that things have built up sufficiently that we now need to basically lance that boil, drain that abscess, pick at that scab, whatever horrible metaphor you want, feel free to use it. So since we were last with you, we've had a couple of high-profile departures. We've got a new ticketing system that doesn't appear to have completely fallen over, which is good news. As a result, season tickets are flying out with a minimum of fuss. Extra 700 season tickets for people who are interested in numbers and shit, like Carol Vorderman's watching. Up-to-date reference. And we've also got a couple of things to chat about that we neglected to mention on the show 10 days ago. We are, of course, proudly sponsored by Blackbird Kitchen, on the pans at Gorilla Manchester, on the grills at Impossible Manchester, and soon to be on the fryers at Lens Chippy Droylsden. Have a look at their social. Have a look at Andy's socials for a bit more on that. Don't like fish, but I'll be going for a pie. It's okay. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, rate, review, do all that business. That would be really nice. With me, well, I would say with me tonight. Should I just do her intro and hope that she arrives during the course of it? Yes, we should do that. Duo is Latin for two. You need two people for a duo, and we do, but we don't. We don't. So what we'll do, we'll just get on with the show. I will absolutely not flounder in the slightest. I'll just hang in there and hope that it happens. And we might have to turn this into a phone in. So we will get on with the show right after this. Yes, so our last show was 10 days ago. It was last Saturday when we recorded at Hannah's. Obviously, when the season finished and we finished the regular Monday shows, we did say that we'd be back as and when there was stuff to talk about. Turns out there's been quite a bit, including a couple of things that we neglected to mention at the outset of at the end of the last show, because we were so excited. Hannah was both jet lagged and excited to be back, so it just went fully off the rails. That episode did. And so I've had a few people ask, like regular readers of anything I've ever said or done will know that a big part of my life is hashtag Hot Girl Summer. I've decided this year I don't want to just drop it on people because it comes as quite a shock. So I'm going to gently ease into it. So just know that hashtag Fruity Vape Summer is underway, and that forms the main part of the lead-in to Hot Girl Summer. So the two are intrinsically linked. Watch this space on that. Right, on to football stuff. So the main news over the last couple of days, probably expected by most people. I think the longer they went on without signing a contract, you kind of got the vibe that they were going to be off elsewhere. So we had the announcement that Collar and Torre are both leaving, and people have, of course, lost their minds because, well, why wouldn't they? Because we're about 3 weeks out of the season, out from our season finishing, and people have just decided to go absolutely bonkers for no reason. The way people are talking, you would think we're never signing a player ever again. It's absolutely crazy. For what it's, I mean, the worst part of it all for me is that whichever club Torre goes to, we're gonna have fans of that club on County's Twitter saying, "Oh, what's he like? What's he like, County fans?" And we're just gonna have a glut of people saying, "Oh, he's shit," and it's just, and I feel like these things are just done to annoy me. I think that's basically going to be the gist of it. I think I'm just going to get mightily pissed off and probably end up arguing with people. So that's something to be very excited about. I think there seems to be this school of thought that I've seen the phrase, "Oh, we should have just offered Collar whatever he wanted." No, no, 'cause that's utterly insane. Just chucking whatever players want at them. We've obviously got budget. We've obviously got with players of a certain age. We're not going to be giving out 4-year contracts. Fair play to Fraser Horsfall, fair play to his agent. But it just brings out, no matter what we do, it seems it just brings out the weirdness in people. So we've got Fraser Horsfall being described as a Judas and a snake, and people just being weird about it. It's very, very, very peculiar. So Hannah's actually ringing me now. Yeah, so it seems it's just an opportunity for people to be. I don't know what these people tend to do without having football stuff to complain about. It's very, very peculiar, but it just seems to be. I think last summer it was made clear that that we've got this new policy wanting to be more sustainable, bring younger players through. It makes complete sense not to give 4-year contracts to players who are in the late 20s. Even 2 or 3-year contracts in some cases might be a bit much if we're not sure whether a player's going to step up to the championship or not, because obviously that's the aim. That's the aim, to get to the championship and keep within this 7-year plan. So just, I mean, I've said Torre definitely much maligned. He definitely doesn't get the credit he deserves. I've seen people saying he was inconsistent. Is that, well, no. There seems to be this rewriting of history with certain players. I wouldn't say Torre was inconsistent. I'd say inconsistent. I say consistent is the way to describe him, because he's available pretty much every week. He gets picked pretty much every week when he's available. He's a solid defender. If there was a player that had the defensive ability of Torre and the attacking ability of Rydell, then that's what we should be aspiring to. But at the same time, does that player exist within our budget? There just seems to be this thing of people playing. I don't think it's even Football Manager, because you tend to find that Football Manager players are a bit more intelligent, myself being the exception. So I don't know if it's a FIFA thing. I don't know if it's just people are watching too much top level football, and there's these players that can just do absolutely everything. I don't know. It's very weird. But obviously they'll both go on to get very, very good moves. I've seen Mansfield and Charlton both mentioned with Will Collar. Oh, here she is.
I'm so sorry.
That was the worst 15 minutes of my life.
Well, so what happened was I had to give this talk, and then
so did I just then.
Pardon?
So did I. I just had to give a fucking talk and all.
So they and then obviously I was incredibly good at it, and
Of
people
course.
kept coming to talk to me. So the first message that I sent you, so I looked at my watch at 10 to and was like, yeah, this isn't looking good. Went to send you a message, and then someone else came, and then at 8 o'clock I typed out a really long message, and then this woman appeared, and like I'm too polite to be like.
Oh yeah. I bet I'm the same. Yeah.
So yeah, I've now left. I'm in the car park, so it's fine. It's all good. All
Good.
right.
Good. Yeah. Is this a proper car park or is it like a local dogging spot?
No,
Do
no,
we
no.
need
It's
to be
it's
careful?
no. It's like it's a Stockport Grammar School car park. It's very elevated.
Good. Good. Well, yeah. Good. Right. So in terms of stuff you've missed, I did the sponsor thing. I
Good.
told people to like and subscribe.
I,
Uh, Hot Girl Summer is pending. It's currently Fruity Vape Summer, which is the lead-in to Hot Girl Summer.
how are you getting on with the like disposable vape situation?
I haven't noticed a difference because it seems to be one of them laws that just aren't enforced.
Oh, really?
But I don't have disposable one anyway. I have a thing where you put like cartridge things in it, refillable
Right.
things.
So you're ahead of the times.
Yeah. I'm not an obnoxious vapor. I've always been ahead of the times. It's mad. It's absolutely mental. Like yeah. Right. I have done. We've done Ibitore.
Right. I have missed a lot.
Will Collar done. I've got that pegged, sorted.
Excellent.
What else have we got? Yes, right. On to the rumour mill. Macaulay Southern Hales is the name we are waiting on now in terms of players who've been offered contracts.
Just like 6 months, I'd be up for that. Like just a cheeky half term.
I want him to be like, even if he does leave, I want him to be like David Brent in the Office Christmas special, where he just keeps turning up at the office even after he's been sacked, just for morale.
Yeah,
Except it will be warranted this time. People will actually like it.
I can imagine as well that he'll be one. I mean, he's just won the community award, hasn't he? He'll be one of those players that like comes back in some form. We'll be at the Floodlit Cup in 3 years, and
He's peak Floodlit Cup.
Yeah. Did I tell you about when I was at Universal Hollywood and I went on the Mario Kart game, which is one of the best? I don't know whether it's a ride as such. I suppose it is. Absolutely brilliant. I was just inundated by Floodlit Cup references.
See, I'm glad because I checked. I had to go and check. I fired up the emulator and got some Mario Kart games on, and the Floodlit Cup is absolutely a thing in Mario Kart.
Is it? That's good.
Yeah. So you weren't going mental. I mean, you probably were, but not for that reason.
I mean, yeah, it was. I had jet lag. It was California, and there weren't any riots though, so I did pick the right week.
Until you left. And you're like, no, bring her back. No!
Yeah. It's not immigration rioting. It's I don't know what it is. Who'd have thought we'd get onto that?
I did not. To be honest, I still can't get over how horrible that 14 or 15 minutes was. It's like at least with stand up, you're in the room with people and you can see if they're laughing.
I can't wait to listen back to it. But I've just had to do well, it was supposed to be 10 minutes, it was more like 15. People did actually laugh at me. I think they were laughing at me rather than with me, but
laughing, just people laughed. That's the main thing. You can say, oh, I had to do a talk and people laughed. That's the main thing.
Yeah, and they laughed at the right moments as well. So, it wasn't like, I said something incredibly sad and everyone pissed themselves.
So anyway, 14 kids dead. Nah! That's, yeah. You're fine.
It's none of that. Yeah.
You're fine.
Yeah. So that's right. So back to the rumour mill, the Southern Hales half-term contract. That's all good. Yeah.
On Collar and Torre, were you surprised?
I was more surprised about Toure, I think.
Yeah.
Collar, I think he probably is quite demanding in terms of his contract
Mm.
negotiations. I think it's funny because a few clubs like that I know that have put in offers for him, the fans have said, "Oh, he's too good for us." Um, I think that's an interesting take. They're League One. He's League One. I don't think that he should necessarily have aspirations above League One. I can't
No.
imagine that much interest in the Championship. I feel like that was a kind of an opportunity maybe a couple of seasons ago. But yeah, I think I'm less surprised. I think he's got the opportunity to go, and I think Burton, like I know a few people have mentioned MK Dons. I think Burton would be a really good shout for
Mm.
him. Not that far away. They've had a really unsettled year, but Fleur Robinson's gone.
And Tom
They
Mahon has come in.
Tom Mahan's come
That's the main thing.
in.
Friend of the show.
So they will be like they also had that thing in the January transfer window where they told everyone that wanted to go they could go.
Yeah.
So there was a massive exodus of players. But then they've got Gary Bowyer in, the tides turn, they kind of survived. And I think he could be a good fit. I mean, the thing with Will, I think, is that he was kind of a little bit of a victim of a change in setup and tactics,
Yeah.
wasn't it? And
I mean, he
so
played out of position for the whole season. So,
yeah, yeah.
um, I think he's certainly a lot better in that deeper role. But does he get
Bless you.
into that deeper role ahead of? It was a cough.
Oh, was
Do you
it?
say bless you for coughs? I can do a sneeze if you
No,
want.
no, but it sounded like a sneeze.
No, I can try and. How would I go about trying to sneeze?
No, don't. What? No, don't.
It's gone a
What
bit.
are you
It's
doing?
gone a bit Taskmaster now. I'm sure that's a task on Taskmaster. It's like you have like just a
How do
sneeze.
I make myself sneeze if I don't know at the moment I just breathe. Oh, there's a helicopter over Offerton.
I was looking for you. I sent it out at 8:01. I was like, you've got to find her. It's so important.
Everyone's leaving now, and the car park's like very empty, and yeah.
Well, don't worry. We won't be at it for the full hour, I don't think. What next? Yeah, so we weren't that surprised, really. I mean, I said at the top of the show, when I was on my own, and it's amazing that I can remember anything I said, because I just blacked out for 15 minutes.
Whenever I've had to talk to myself, it tends to be some weird monologue about season ticket. The last one was about season ticket prices. And honestly, I could have talked myself around in circles several times.
Oh, I did. I did. I was very close to getting out my list of people who I think are talking bollocks on social media.
Oh
I
my
was so
God.
close.
That would have been excellent content. Do you know what you could have done? You could have screen shared and just scrolled through Twitter and done that. Like, the equivalent of us sending screenshots to each other of
Yeah.
the stupid fucking things that people have said. You could have just done that. I mean, people would tune in for that. That could be a whole podcast on itself, like Gogglebox.
It'd be like Gogglebox, but with like Gogglebox crossed with mean tweets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, we'll
Yeah.
add that to the list. Do you want me to brighten up your evening with an unapproved county Facebook group post of the week?
Yes.
Do you have anything to hide behind in the car?
Oh, I could. The dog. So the dogs. This is the dog kind of liner.
You have to get in there, I think.
I've got a notebook.
Right, okay, I'll play the jingle and then I will hit you with one.
Your unapproved county Facebook group post of the week.
I absolutely laughed my what's it off when I got sent this one. Just for those who aren't familiar with this feature, these are all posts that have been submitted to the Stockport County Facebook supporters group, and thanks to our friends on the admin team, they have rejected the posts for various reasons and sent them to us to have a good old laugh at. We won't name people because it's embarrassing enough that you've thought this and typed it. Just found a pink wrapped present in the McDonald's on the A6. It was addressed to Sylvie. I've left it with the workers. That's the Stockport County supporters group. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Do we know which McDonald's? Because I want a present.
McDonald's on the A6. I'm assuming it's Grand Central. You go get your present, Sylvie.
Yeah. Be like, hi, I'm Sylvia. I hear there's a present for me.
Yeah. Pink wrapped. It's been left with the workers. Yeah, what a time to be alive.
Well,
You'd have thought the content would dry up during the summer, but it turns out there's just more.
that's special. But it's like the last one that we had, isn't there? Wasn't there one about
Someone was
something?
moaning about the roadworks.
Yeah, the roundabout. Right, I'll put the notebook down.
Yep. What I'll do, I'll play the jingle again, and then we'll get back to some football.
You're on Approved County Facebook group. Post of the week.
So, in all the excitement of recording the last show at yours, up on your
Yes.
return to these shores, there was two
Yes.
little bits of news that we neglected to mention because we talked about everything but. So, firstly, the 3 youth contracts that were signed: Marcus Kuam, Christy Grogan, who's joined from Stirk, and the one I'm most excited about, Reece Watson, because he's a left-footed centre-back at a time when we may need one in the next year
Yeah.
or two. And he's already been involved with the Welsh youth side, so that's exciting. That's
And
good.
Andrew Wogan's playing for the
He played. He
21s
kept.
tomorrow, isn't
He kept a clean sheet. You could say, I said it in the group chat, I said it on Yellow Board, I'm going to say it here as well. You could say that Qatar, because it was a 0-0 draw, Qatar drew a blankety blank against Wogan. Thank you! Cheers, all!
Disappointingly, because I thought that it had only occurred to me and you. I went back in on the simoncharles.com auction tonight, and there's a new lead.
Oh, what's happening? What's happening?
Ben Hinchliffe, his shirt is now up to, I want to say, it's either 460 or 640.
Well, it was at 430 when I checked about a week ago.
Okay,
So
in
so
that case,
always,
it's probably 640, which is incredible, especially since the shirt wasn't worn. I mean,
still says match worn on there, I noticed.
he maybe he put it on at some point to sit on the bench or like solidarity for the penalties. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that's it. He should have gone behind the goal in it for the penalties.
But the Wogan one has gone up a lot in price.
I noticed.
As have most of them, actually. There's very few bargains to be had now, which is great because, I mean, look how much money it's raising for the community trust. It's brilliant. And my understanding is that the auctioneers take no cut whatsoever. So all of it goes to charity, which I think is absolutely brilliant that county have taken the time to find a provider that does that, rather than, I think, match worn shirts, if you buy something from that, everything comes like beautifully packaged, it's in ribbons, it's in, you know, like a box and all of that, but you pay for all of that stuff, and that's, you know, money that with Simon Charles, maybe they do all that stuff too, I don't know. Since we last spoke, I have come into possession of not one but 2 match worn shirts.
Have you? Oh, apprentice fabric fancier amongst us.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far, but I also will not deny that I have been sniffing one of the shirts.
Which one have you been sniffing, Hannah?
Right, well, So I went to pick it up, and I managed to get out of reception into the shop, back out of the shop. The shop's got loads of good stuff for Father's Day, by the way, if anyone's buying presents. Spoiler, Dad, that's where some of your father's toilet paper. As I started talking, I was like, "Oh, my dad's totally going to listen to this." My dad, my dad said to, I was at my mum and dad's on Sunday, and my dad, like, in conversation, I was like, "Oh yeah, I've trained as a travel agent," and my dad says to my mum, "I told you she did," and I'm thinking, how on earth did he know that? Like, podcast.
That'll be it. You see, far
But
and wide.
yeah, so yeah, I've been sniffing Owen Moxon's shirt. I managed to do it in the relative privacy of my own car. I was just trying to understand whether it was actually match worn or not, because it's in very, very good, pristine condition. It's a pink away shirt, all patched up, and yeah, it's got a scan number on, which is a nice touch. But yeah, it doesn't smell bad. Let's put it that way.
Okay, good to know. It's good to know that Owen Moxon does not smell bad.
Well, no, but like, I don't think that would reflect on Owen Moxon. I think, if you're playing competitive football in a shirt, then you're going to sweat in it, and it's probably, yeah. Anyway, should we
It's
move?
amazing. It's amazing that these shirts. Oh, it's amazing that these shirts are like made for athletes and stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, they've got this special like breathable fabric and stuff. Yet when I wear one, I stink when I wear one. Why? What is it with my sweat that's different to footballers' sweat? Let's move on from my sweat. Which county player would you say smells the best? Do you reckon? I mean, from my experience, it's Macaulay Southam Hales. He smells delicious.
I don't know that I've necessarily given them a good sniff.
Oh, I sniffed them
Um,
all on the night we won the title last year. I was all over them.
um, yeah, I'm gonna go with Owen Moxon because his shirt smells really nice.
Yeah, okay, recency bias, but also did it smell a
Like,
little bit of aftershave?
only yeah, it smells like,
I thought you were going to say OnlyFans then.
no, I was like, only frame of reference. Yeah, so yeah, I'm going Owen Moxon.
Good answer. Good answer.
Prove me wrong.
Right. So on to non shirt sniffing. We have more the rumour mill. People will have tuned in expecting us to be turning the rumour mill, but in reality, the only mentions I've seen of us seems to be in relation to children on loan from Manchester United, which is not a policy that served us well in the past.
Also, I know it was you that told me. I was going to say just children generally. Legally adults, but still children. They have a teen after their age.
Yes, so that is in relation to I can't remember his name now. I don't even
Shorrocks.
know where I saw it. Yes, it is Shorrock.
Joe.
Joe
Joe?
Shorrock? Will Shorrock at no,
Well.
it's not Will Shorrock. It's not Will Shorrock. Oh, Will Shorrock's his brother.
Ah,
I'm assuming it's his brother because he's also.
it's like
Is
the
it-
Keens.
He was also born in. Oh, don't get me started on that. We'll get onto that later on. I'm assuming Will Shorrock is his brother because Will Shorrock was also born in Stockport.
Oh, right.
But I think the player. No, I can't even find him now. I don't think it is. What was his name? I've
Is
got
it
to go
not
and look
Joe?
at it.
He's at Port Vale. Like, Google Port Vale
I'm
Shorrocks.
on the Port Vale squad, and it is
No.
Jack
Jack.
Shorrock.
Just
So he became the youngest player in Port Vale's history in September 2022, aged 15 years and 145 days. Obviously won promotion last season. He's only 18 now. Started out as a left wing back, has been playing midfield a fair bit for Port Vale. He was their youth team's top scorer in 22-23, playing at left wing back, which is absolutely bonkers. Came through the academies at Man City and Blackburn. Represented the Stockport Schools Football Association before signing for Vale, and crucially, he is Stockport born, and that is very much right. The football manager player in me loves. I like
Yeah.
collecting all the wonder kids.
I mean, we had this conversation earlier, whereas I'm like, I want some grown-ups. I want some tried and tested, like not gonna mess you around, not gonna wait until Easter to show up, just ready to go. Because, in reality, the really young ones, this conversation's so bad. The really young ones, we just send out on loan anyway.
Yeah.
Like, so
Yeah.
I can't, like, I mean, people have been talking about Joseph Olaofe from Doncaster. He's leaving there. He was offered a new contract, but he's declined it, and he's moving on. So he becomes a free agent on the 30th of June. And I'm not that excited about him either, because he's another project. Like, don't get me wrong, a good few years on, and you think about this, like Luke Molyneux, who came up through Donny's ranks, and was kind of one of their first like properly successful academy outputs for a while. I remember having conversations with Donny fans and them being like, no, he's not that bothered about it. He's not that big a deal. Don't know what you're making a fuss about. And now, the lad walks on water and they're all obsessed with him, and things have changed dramatically. But I don't know. I think we've got this opportunity this year to do something special, and I don't think that we will achieve the goals that we've got ahead of us with a team stuffed with young'uns.
I mean, particularly if you look at us defensively now, we're going to be. I think certainly I'd like to see a Horsfall replacement who is established at this level and can lead that defence, because we're looking at basically a whole new. Like Southam Hale's probably going, Noyle gone, Horsfall gone, Torre gone. There's whisper. I saw on. I think it was just on a general League One message board, but there's speculation that Rydell might be off as well, whether that be on loan or
Rydell and Ethan Pye, obviously, as well.
And Ethan Pye, obviously.
So we might be on for a full-on rebuild. And I mean, obviously, there's Brad Hills, the oldest-looking 19-year-old in the world. I've heard that his relationship with his girlfriend at East Anglia University is on the rocks. So.
Oh really? Maybe he'll take a year out. Maybe he'll defer. come to Stockport to find himself.
Yeah, he's gonna sign up for something at the college that's going to be. Yeah.
He's gonna totally change. He's gonna drop geology and just go off and do drama instead. His parents are furious. They hate it. Do you think that's why I've never wanted to take a trip to find myself, because I'm worried that I won't like what I find.
Right. Well, I was one of the girls in my team tonight is having. I've got heels on. Like, can you imagine? Like trying to do a podcast in a car with heels on.
What do you think I've got on my feet right now?
So yeah, one of the girls in my team is going for like a spiritual reading tonight from a bloke that does it on Zoom in Romania, and it's €100. I reckon we could crowdfund it. Like, you and I could have a reading with this bloke, and he could tell us our football future for 24, 25, 26. Can you imagine? I'll find out in the morning how good he was, but we won't tell him like what team we support or anything. We'll be really smart with it.
But when you say you'll find out in the morning how good he was.
Yeah.
I mean, surely no one doing spiritual readings can be so good that everything they've predicted happens in the next 12 hours. from them doing
No,
it.
no, no,
Surely
no.
it's a long term.
But like whenever you do anything like that, and I'm too scared to do anything like that generally
Mm.
because I don't want to be told stuff that I don't want to know.
Same.
And but she will know, wouldn't she? Like that if the Romanian bloke knows that she's just going through a divorce and that, you know, she's X, Y, and Z. So like you know if they're good, like you know if they know stuff without you telling them.
Well, we've just given ourselves a reason to do a podcast next week, haven't we?
We could just play the recording
just
of
play-
the Zoom guy in Romania.
Yeah, just play the recording of the Zoom guy in Romania, and it'll just be him going, so, you have feet, don't you? And it'll be me going, I do have feet! I do! Yeah! Wow, you're
Wow,
good!
you're so good.
You're amazing!
This team that you support, they will start the season with 11 players on the pitch. Nick, I told you. It's brilliant.
God, pay him double. Oh God. You've got a family member who's died, haven't you? Yeah, I have. At some point in my 38 years on Earth, yes, I have. Wow. Thank you, Dragashin. That's the first Romanian name I could think of.
Your club has seen great successes and great failures.
He's good. And then next thing you know, he's on the pitch for the first home game at half time of the first home game, being introduced by Steve Bellis.
Yeah.
Doing the scan presentation.
Yeah. Glenn Taylor will have nothing on this lad.
Yeah, a true legend has been made here. Oh, right. What else have we got? We have Hills is 21 apparently. Thank you, Phil Lloyd. You can still go to uni at 21.
Yeah, defo.
He deferred.
Yeah.
He went to find himself in Accrington, and it just Lancashire. Where's the nearest university to there? I don't know.
Where? Accrington. South Lakes.
South Lakes University. Yep, brilliant.
I don't even know where Accrington is, and I've been there a few times. I just put sat nav on and off I go.
That's all you can do really these days, isn't it? Let's have a random county non-league goal of the week. Not sourced by Chris Eaton this week, sourced by you, which is very exciting.
Brogan to deliver into the 6-yard box. It's close! Good turn! Wins it for Spennymoor! The scenes behind that goal. There's people falling over the walls. Unbelievable scenes at the Brewery Field. The roof's come off. Spennymoor have won it. In the dying minutes, it's that man, 30 for the season. It's heartbreak for Chorley. You've got to feel for the travelling support who have had heads who are way to our right-hand side.
Unbelievable scenes there behind the goal. I think it's the first time I've probably lost a co-commentator, but yeah, we've deserved that on the balance of play overall. We've had some big chances this afternoon, and just as I was mentioning it looks like just a point. There's that man again, Glenn Taylor, 30 goals. What a time to get your 30th goal of the season.
Right, Hannah.
Happy
as you know,
Glenn Taylor Day.
As you know, Hannah, I'm a strong advocate of women, particularly women in football, fresh voices. You often find that women, like female pundits, are a lot better because they've had to work harder to get where they are. I'm thinking about Alex Scott, as I often am.
I was going to say, right.
And I often do on a daily basis. I am going to draw the line at women doing the buttons on a podcast because I was already angered by, and I am not angered by us sending a team to play in a testimonial for Glenn Taylor. It's good because we've not forgotten where we've been. We're not being Billy Big Bollocks. What I do not like, Hannah, this will probably be the next 25 minutes. Settle in, get yourselves a drink. You might as well get on Deliveroo and order yourself something to your car.
I was going to say, if someone could bring me some headache tablets, that would really be really helpful.
You're going to need them, baby. There's one phrase that's brought my blood pressure rising today. It wasn't a phrase that was used by County, but it was used by many County fans across all the various social media networks. County legend. Now, these are going to be big. But you cannot be a legend of a football club without playing for them. You can be a hero, Ian Dowie, cult hero, also Ian Dowie. Glenn Taylor. No. The legend thing. No. And then that gave way to another one of the things that brings my blood pressure up, which is people replying to an article they've not read. Because I've seen people saying, "Oh well, hopefully we'll send a strong team there." It's like, well, read the article. You'll find it's clear that we're sending the kids because we're playing Everton behind closed doors that day. Or whoever it is, first team I could think of, because we always play Everton, don't we? We always have a game. I think we played Everton about 4 or 5 times now, so it just stands to reason.
Probably.
I'm sure right now we're probably playing Everton. It's just
Probably, yeah.
That's just what happens.
It's
But
the
yeah,
Derby.
so I'm sure he'll have a lovely day and stuff. And I mean, from a Spennymoor point of view, it's fantastic because there's the link there, and it's also a League One club who travel well, take a decent number of fans.
Yeah.
So, and he's at a level where testimonial, it's the old-fashioned style of testimonial where the money will quite possibly go to him.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
As it used to be in the good old days before, before footballers didn't need money or to work ever again. So yeah, I'm sure that'll be fun anyway. Very good. But I just let's not call him. And I also take exception to, oh well, if it hadn't have been for that goal, who knows where we'd be now? Same place we are now. The same place we are now. We might have got here a year later, but we would quite possibly have gone on to win the playoffs even if we'd missed out that season.
Right.
And if not, we'd have based on the trajectory we've been on for the 4 or 5 years previous, we'd have gone up the following season. So, right. Do you have anything else on Glenn Taylor?
No, I think you're right. It was clearly done to agitate you, which is, I feel like it's an evidence that women should look after the buttons. But I agree that he is he's like in a Disney film, he'd be
Gaston.
like helpful. Well, I was going to say like one of the helpful, like flying birds that helps Snow White get dressed. Like important, but not main character. Like nowhere near.
But not the fairy godmother.
No, a nice addendum to the story.
Yeah.
But not, not Rachel Ziegler.
No. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you've nailed it. Perfect. Right. Glenn Taylor, you are not Rachel Ziegler.
No.
Do you want to tell him? Should we get a flag made for the testimonial?
Have you checked your availability yet?
Well, so it's not when I'm away, but it's the same day that Oasis are on.
Oh, I'm not going to Oasis, so that's fine.
I might be.
Oh. Well, fine. If anyone wants to come in the car with me and do karaoke, because Teslas have got karaoke in the car, then Nick's apparently, maybe going to Oasis.
But
so.
Let's face it, there are many occasions upon which I can go to Oasis.
Right.
You only get one chance to see Glenn Taylor mark 10 years as Spennymoor's number 9.
And tell him that he's no Rachel Ziegler.
And tell him that he's no Rachel Ziegler. I'm doing that. I'm going to get a flag, get a cardboard sign. It's the one time that I will countenance the use of a cardboard sign at a football match. And I'm not going to get a child to hold it. I'm going to hold it. I'm going to draw it all myself and say, Glenn Taylor, you are not Rachel Ziegler. And he's going to be so confused on his big day.
Do you know what though? It could end really badly because she's got some opinions on like current world events, and maybe don't want to stay. I'm sure that'll all have calmed down by then. I mean, it's a whole month and a bit away. So,
has anyone asked Glenn Taylor for his stance on Israel? Before we go agreeing to play a game, let's see what he thinks. What else do we have? Right, let's power through. So the Simon Wilson interview. Main thing to take away from it, alongside the co-op who released their minutes of the meeting. I think the main thing to get from it is the eye watering sums involved in redeveloping Edgeley Park. Like we knew we knew it was going to be expensive, but oh my word! Just how surprised were you?
I no, I mean, maybe not surprised, but this like it's one of those like chicken and egg things, isn't it? In terms of they need the investment, but they, you know, yeah. So surprised but not. I thought it was interesting that they've clearly costed up an option to start from scratch somewhere. Um, and that was like, what was it, 150 to 200 million, which is, crazy in terms of external investment. I mean, this is an arena where I don't know whether I don't think we've talked about it, but like Wrexham have been
Arena.
talking. Wrexham have been talking about the inward investment that they need for the championship, and they reckon to compete at the top of the championship, their wage bill needs to be 10 times what it is at the moment, and that's it. Do you know what? I read it and I was like, do you know what, I kind of want to sit back and see what Charlton and Wrexham do next season. Because Wrexham are slightly different in that, that inward investment will be easier for them to secure. But at the same time, it's June and this season, the season's starting in like less than 2 months. So it doesn't give them much opportunity to secure millions. And with investment that is associated to property and property development, that comes with its own kind of set of legalities as well. Not to say that Mark Stott isn't the leading person to be able to speak to that.
It's very much his will. But I mean, it feels like everything we touch on. It feels like a Slumdog Millionaire situation on here tonight, because everything we've discussed has led me on to something that's annoyed me on social media.
I'm just annoyed by everything on social media at the moment. Like, genuinely.
Well, yeah, same, but it just seems like everything linked. I hope I win like 1 million rupees at the end of this episode. That'd be really good after my 47p bet on the last episode. So I saw someone saying, "Oh, well," I think it was in response to the co-op posting the minutes of the meeting online, and I think it was on Twitter, someone saying, "Oh, well, if you ask me, they're positioning us to move to a new ground." And people have quite rightly said, well, no, they've said several times, both in person and in print, that's not happening. So, oh well, that doesn't mean they won't do it. It's like, yes, but everything they've done, everything they said they'd do, they've not gone back. And it's in the minutes that it would cost £200 million. And if they're not going to spend £50 million doing a new pop side, then I don't think they're going to spend £200 million on a new. I'm so close to like, because it feels like, we're just shy of a year into this pod now, and it feels like as the weeks go on, there's more stuff on social media for me to get annoyed about. So I'm just going to have to start naming names, I think.
I think it's a time of year thing. Like, I know that I am more easily provoked than I might be normally. And I am more likely to say something than I would do normally. I think it's just there's less actual football stuff to talk about. So people get kind of lost in everything that goes with it.
Yeah, pretty much. That's about the size of it. Just give us some signings to talk about.
Well,
Well,
at
the
least we've
stadium.
got a week now with no. Well, no, actually, because we could sign any free agents, couldn't we?
Yeah, I have genuinely seen a message board post tonight saying, "Oh, the window's closed and that's it." That's disappointing. It's like, no, 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 no. The window can only be open for a certain amount of weeks a year, so they have to do this for the Club World
Even
Cup teams.
even Liam Chu, who loves a transfer deadline day like nobody else I know. This morning, I sent him a message saying "Happy transfer deadline day, kiss, kiss, kiss," and I got back one of two.
Yeah, he's
Where,
right.
where's the enthusiasm? I thought that text was going to result in a "let's do a live pod." I mean, you know, it was before
Yeah.
we'd negotiated this, and it would have ended similarly. But yeah, just no, not the same appetite or energy for transfer deadlines that appear in the middle of a window.
Yeah, not a fan. Not a fan. We'll get signings, and then we can all argue amongst ourselves about whether they're any good or not. When let's have a really underwhelming signing just to boil piss. Leave it a few weeks and then go, haha, we've not signed him really. We were only joking. Linked into the stadium talk and the Simon Wilson interview. Then something else we forgot to mention last week. Matt McKee, new non-executive director, very good background. Do you think, as I do, that we're sort of inching like? Oh, she's gone. She's gone. Well, I'll put it to the comments then. Does anyone else think we are perhaps inching ever closer to new, probably American investment? Thanks, Hannah. I asked my big question then, and then you weren't there to answer it.
I'm back.
Oh, thank God for that. Yes, so with the new appointment to the board, would you? I think we're starting to inch ever closer to American, possibly American investment, because American owners seem to love the Championship because it's a bit of a gamble. But then, if you get into the Premier League, you've got all the riches that come with that. I really don't think we're far off now, particularly with needing to finance redevelopment on the ground. I don't think we're far off that now.
I think there's definitely an American appetite,
Yeah.
like in terms of the interest they've seen, the kind of the globe, and this is why no one will ever be able to emulate Wrexham. Like the Wrexham thing is, you know, this weird alchemy of two very successful, charming men who happen to be very funny, and the money thing is secondary. Like even Tom Brady and the, you know, the whole thing at Birmingham, they can't compete with Wrexham and that proposition. So whoever is investing in other clubs needs to be a little bit realistic about it, I think, in terms of the returns, in terms of the profile raising, if that's what they want out of it. The exception would be, I don't know, I mean, David Beckham's got a League Two club, so but you know, what he did at Inter Miami has been transformational. And then yeah, and it needs to be either someone massive or someone with really big pockets.
Yes, yeah. I mean, because when we were like in the National League North and willing a takeover to happen, the talk was, oh, it needs to be someone with very deep pockets because we've got all the stuff on the ground needs to be done, like training ground, like the community, infrastructure, absolutely everything, and we got
Yeah.
that. But now we're getting to a point now where, yeah, we're going to need deeper pocket. And Stott said as much. I think Wilson said as much. I think people lose sight of the fact for all the weird pantomime slagging off of Wrexham in the documentary, we've done very well out of that documentary. We really have. I keep seeing, I see people coming from outside of, I mean, not like people who live people coming from like North Manchester to come and watch County because they've seen us on a documentary, that sort of thing. It's like we've done well out of it as well. Let's not
Yeah.
make out like it's all at Wrexham. Because if you root for the underdog and stuff like that, because we are very much the underdog in that documentary. We're the antagonists, shall we say? And if that's the sort of thing you root for, then yeah, we've done well out of that.
Yeah, I think, as profile raising for the league, for the football pyramid, all of that, it's been quite educational. I think, yeah, I mean, it's all eyes on what's happening on the pitch, but off the pitch as well. And I think it's probably done quite a lot of good in terms of fans and the wider footballing community understanding some of those costs and the impact of some of those costs, and things like having to returf the pitch, which they talked a lot about. It's things that every club undergoes, and hopefully it also means that if investors are coming in looking for a piece of that Wrexham profile, then they're doing so with their eyes open, as opposed to it's gonna be really fun, I'm gonna buy a football club.
Yeah, so I think that's what I do. I could quite conceivably have £203 million right now because it's Euro Millions night tonight.
Oh,
so
yeah.
watch this space. I'm gonna go and buy another podcast and do a documentary about it. That's what I'll do.
Buy another podcast and run it into the ground.
Yeah, I'm thinking Joey Barton.
Yes.
Did
that ever happen? Like, I know that was his thing, but like, I don't know.
He's still doing it. Yeah. Yeah. He got done by who's the Spanish football expert on Sky? Guillem Balaguer. He was a pundit on ITV the other night for the Portugal-Spain Nations League game, and Joey Barton took to Twitter, as he does, basically whinging, saying, "Oh, there's no coaching badges on that panel, blah blah blah. Oh, they know nothing." And then Guillem Balaguer had to tweet him and say, "Yeah, I've got my coaching badges. I was on the same course as you." Like, we did them together. I'd imagine Dave Challoner was on that course as well.
Obviously. Yeah.
we all know that's how that works. You mentioned David Beckham. Just a slight sidebar before we get on to the last item of the show. Are you familiar with this Beckham and Friends? Oh, so it's on.
Oh! Is this a CBS thing?
Yes, yeah.
Right. So I saw it advertised for. It must have been the Champions League final, and mental. I was like, right. And then I kind of was going to try and find the CBS coverage on the Fire Stick because I really like the idea of watching David Beckham and Tom Cruise and Odell Beckham Jr.
Beckham Jr. and Tom Brady popped in.
Obviously. And was that like how did it work? Did they just like cut to them occasionally? Like, what was
the clips I've seen? They've got like the stadium. So they're in at the Champions League final. They were in the stadium, but in like a private box thing. But it's just them talking in this like weird studio that looks like an old-fashioned library. Like, David Beckham's never read a book in his life. He's written 7, but he's never read one. But it's so, as you'd imagine with anything, I'm fascinated by Tom Cruise because he's involved in a reprehensible cult, yet he's probably the last true like Hollywood film star. Like, does his own stunts, like all this sort of thing. But it's the weirdest thing ever because it's just mutual backslapping for like an hour. Like Tom Cruise, like, I've been. Tom Cruise says, I've been a fan of David since he did that kick from halfway. It's like, what? So Tom Cruise was watching Wimbledon against Man United on the first day of the 96-97 season, was he? Like, no. It's so weird. And then at the hour mark, Tom Cruise just leaves. And it makes me think of when, like, when your team's like 3-0 down and you just leave, and you're just like, yeah, I'm having a laugh this week. Bleh." It just reminded me of that. PSG were like 3 or 4 up at the time, and Tom Cruise just disappeared. Just like he's seen enough. But it's so they had Stanley Tucci on the first one, who was just bemused by the whole thing.
Well,
Tom Cruise didn't have Tom Cruise. He like so I think PSG took a short corner, and Tom Cruise did like. He reacted like you'd react if I started levitating right now. This was the most amazing thing Tom Cruise has ever seen in his life. Like, he just couldn't believe it. And Thierry Henry had to, like... Because Thierry Henry's there as well. Of course he fucking is.
Oh my God.
Thierry
I
Henry
love
had to, like,
Thierry
explain to
Henry.
him that sometimes they take short corners and the reasons behind it. And I was like, yes, Thierry, I love a short corner. It's so weird. I can't wait for the next one. It's just... Oh, it's bonkers.
I wish that I'd actually bothered to seek it out now. I
Oh,
think it was, and it would have been even more fun because I was massively. It was that night that I came back from America, so it would have been all. I went to Tottenham Hotspur's stadium.
You did? How was that?
on
That's one of the stadiums I really
Saturday.
want to go to.
I mean, it's very impressive. It's nicely new. I still got wet because domes are not, well, it's not a dome, it's a bowl. Yeah, it's good. Relatively easy access. If anyone's going to Beyonce over the next couple of weeks, I'll happily provide orientation. Yeah, it's good.
Excellent. I've sort of fallen out with Spurs over the last week or so.
Oh, well, there was no memorial there, no, like pillar candles and pictures of Ange, which I mean, I know he's not dead, obviously, but it felt like it would have been fitting.
I'm just getting an image of like everyone holding the phone torches up, and then he comes on the big there's Ange on the big screen like, baby, I can see your halo. Like, perfect opportunity, Beyonce, Mrs. Z. You've messed that up, haven't you? We briefly covered David Beckham, which takes us on to the last item I was going to bring up that I don't think I've discussed with you, actually. It's not, like, massive. So sort of speaking of Manchester United, Hannah's screen's gone off again. Are you still there? Oh, God, she's not. Joe Inglefield would rather wipe his ass with a sword than watch Beyonce. Correct, she's no Taylor Swift or Chapel Roan or Sabrina Carpenter. See, I know all the names. Couldn't name a song by half of them, but I do know all the names. Yes, I was just rambling about Chapel Roan and Taylor Swift and Sabrina Carpenter.
No,
I know all them.
I could hear it all. Sophie rang me, and I could it. Yeah, let's just hope she doesn't ring again. Let's put it that way.
Well, we're nearly done. So the last thing I picked out, I don't know if you've seen this on social media, but don't say bless you because it was a cough, not a sneeze. Andy Mangan. Poor Andy Mangan. It could have been at Real Madrid. Although, if he'd gone to Real Madrid, he'd probably be out of a job now because the Ancelottis have left Real Madrid. And he might still end up going... David Ancelotti keeps getting linked with loads of jobs. So maybe Andy Mangan will follow him there. Dave Challoner is down to 4-1. I believe joint third favourite with Richie Wellens for the Bristol City job. If his name was Davide Challinori, I think he'd have that job in the bag already. But he doesn't. Let's not panic about that because it doesn't take too much to move the market on that. Right. So the thing I was going to say, Andy Mangan, poor Brexit affected Andy Mangan. He's been doing some like one-on-one coaching / mentoring thing with Aidan Heaven, who's a centre-back at Man United. Okay. Side note, if Man United fans don't have a song for him to the tune of Heaven by DJ Sammy, then it's indicative of the decline in standards at that club over the last decade or so for me. But we'll come to that. Maybe I should go to a United game armed with that song and teach it them, and then leave safe in knowledge my work is done. But anyway, so he's been doing some like one-on-one mentoring, like some pictures of him, and Andy Mangan's got like a PowerPoint thing going on. They're doing like some thing where they're like close up together. They're not. They're in a living room in like their own clothes. They're not in like tracksuits or like football gear or anything, and they're actually like grappling with each other and stuff like that. On it's a very weird setup. So it must be like some freelance thing he's doing. So from a coaching perspective, it got me thinking because so Lee Grant has just become just been announced as Huddersfield manager over the last couple of weeks. So he had a career as a goalkeeper, a good career at like championship level. So his job before Huddersfield was as a coach at Ipswich, and you'd imagine he'd be a goalkeeping coach, surely, with him being a goalkeeper. But he was the attackers coach. He was a striker coach at Ipswich, and that blew my mind. So you've got Andy Mangan, a striker, coaching a defender at United, and then you've got Lee Grant, who was striker. But at the same time, I'd never normally think about the intricacies of coaching, but I suppose he's gonna know.
Yeah, it makes
what to
all
look out
sense to
for.
me.
Yeah, Andy. Yeah, and genuinely, it was like a eureka moment for me. I was like, "Oh wow, that's a really good thing to do."
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Because you're practicing at beating the opposition essentially.
Yeah, Andy Mangan can be like, "Well, as a striker, this is the movement I'd be looking to make. I'd be trying to pull you out of position here." And I'm all for it. Really good. Really good. Yeah, but genuinely, like, it was like I discovered the wheel when it first clicked in my head.
But it's like, have you ever seen like when they're warming up, you'll get like Courier Dye shooting at Ben, and that's not helpful, is it? You want a striker shooting at Ben. Oh, that's the point. Complete aside, like this is how tangential my head is.
Tangential Olaofe.
Have you seen that video of him doing his little TikTok dance? So good. I love it.
As long as he doesn't get injured doing it, because he got injured this time last year doing his own thing. Maybe Dave said, "Don't train on your own, do something else," and that's what he's doing.
I feel like Courier Dye is being rolled out for all the community stuff as well, like before he goes on paternity leave. Yeah, that feels strategic to me because I think his partner's due like the first week of July. I'm sure that's what he told me when we were at Carrington. So I can't even remember where this is going. Oh, Tangential. Sam Cosgrove, who was apparently nailed on to sign for Mansfield, but Mansfield aren't as privileged as us. Their media and comms person does not tweet from his holiday. And so apparently they've got like 2 or 3 signings that they can't announce because the media guy is on holiday.
Brilliant. Because I've been saying this for the last few days. Once again, I think it was the August window last year where someone said, "Oh well, we probably won't be announcing anyone because Liam's on his holiday," which blew my mind. And this week we've had the discussion about Liam being in Rome, Dave Challoner being away celebrating his wedding anniversary, and then someone raised the possibility of Mike Petch being on holiday. No one knows that Mike Petch is on holiday. Someone just said, "Well, maybe Mike Petch is on holiday." It's like, well, he will be at some point, and I'm sick of it already. Really sick of it.
Because no one else can take photos.
No,
let's be honest. And also Macaulay Southern Hales is on holiday, which may genuinely explain why.
In this case,
that is maybe on hold. But yes, I mean, there's quite a lot going on, really. I mean, we've managed to make a mountain out of a molehill, arguably. But it's nice to catch up.
Yeah, we've done an hour and 10 minutes. Well, I have. You've done 55 minutes.
live from the car park. I could do this every week. Like, oh dear.
That first 15 minutes is going to become one of those. You know, like there's them old like Dad's Army episodes that like BBC used to delete stuff. There's like Doctor Who and Dad's Army episodes that don't exist because they got deleted by the BBC, and that's what that first 15 minutes is going to be like. I'm going to get rid of that straight away, straight on YouTube Studio.
There's someone that's just come into the car park, and I'm like, is he?
Are you Hannah off SKP TV?
Is he bringing me headache tablets? Maybe. Hopefully.
Let's
No.
hope so. Let's
No.
hope so.
He's looking at me oddly, but he's just walking on. He has got headphones in.
Imagine this. Get him on. Even if he's not watching the pod, get him on. Get him on. What does he think about strikers coaching defenders?
He's in sports kit actually. Looks quite sporty. I don't know where he's going. Like, why would you walk through? Oh, anyway, this is riveting.
It's more riveting than the first 15 minutes, I'll tell you that much. Right, we'll definitely be back on the 26th of June, which is a Thursday, the day after my birthday, and 2 days after our first ever show. But we will be doing, because it's fixture release day. So I can exclusively reveal that we'll be playing 23 teams twice each in varying combinations.
I think as well that it is entirely likely that we'll get to the point that we did today. Like, should we do a podcast?
I mean, you'd expect there to be signings announced, possibly over the next week.
Oh,
or so.
we could have a live podcast when I actually bother to renew my season ticket. That would be newsworthy.
Yes, we can do some user testing on the new ticketing system.
In fairness, I've set up my account. It all worked well. But then I've got to do something that's just a little bit not straightforward, and I just haven't got the energy to deal with it. So I do need to. And Kim's been lovely, and she will help me. But just it can wait.
You've got 10 days. Which is what Craig David would have had if he'd twisted his ankle while shagging on the first day. Because he'd have had to stay in bed for an extra 3 days to let the swelling go down on his ankle. You mucky lot. Right, that's where we end it. We will be back hopefully next week, but if not, we'll see you on the 26th. And we've got some other stuff coming up, which you will see when it drops into your feeds. Say goodbye to... Are you going to stay on? I think you should make up the time. So I think you should stay on for 15 minutes while I go.
I could do my drive home. I could just
you live stream.
Leave my phone on the, I don't know, somewhere.
I'll send you the TikTok login.
Yeah. I think that the car's got. I'm fairly sure that I could do Zoom calls from the car screen. So maybe I should have tried that instead. But yeah, if anyone wants to call me and keep me company for the next 15 minutes while I drive home, that'd be nice.
Yeah, if anyone wants to walk past Hannah's car and do a controversial gesture at it, I'm sure that'll be fine as well.
I'm looking. Is anyone coming? No. Oh yeah. That needs context. Someone Heil Hitlered my car last week, like full on Nazi salute. It was very intentional, very deliberate. And I do understand it, but at the same time,
yeah. Should we tell people what your car is? Because people are just going to think you're going around in a Honda Civic and like.
I've got Tesla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't want people thinking like, why would you? Imagine it was like a Volkswagen Beetle. that is
because
the Nazi mobile.
Yeah. I used to have one of them as well. Oh, I had two actually. I had a yellow one and then I had a powder blue one.
Volkswagen, Fanta, and Hugo Boss are all Nazi things. Did not expect to be doing a history lesson. There was a documentary on about this Hitler the other night, and I don't think he's a good guy. So someone should, yeah. No. Not for me.
Yeah, so that's been a fun part of Tesla ownership. Although my Tesla is like a year old, so I can claim that, I mean, I didn't, but I can claim that I bought it before I knew Elon was a Nazi.
Do you think this is a widespread thing? And did they mention it in the showroom? Like, look, there you've got your karaoke in the car. You can do your Zoom calls, your aircon. Yeah, you do need to find a charging point, and people will do an Nazi salute. Right? What? I said
I
charging
knew
point. Oh right, okay.
I knew that people apparently like Teslas are the new BMWs in terms of like people not letting you out at junctions and stuff like that. I had been told that I haven't actually found to be the case. I do make sure that I'm extra smiley and and grateful when anyone lets me
Yeah.
out to overcompensate for the Nazi car. But yeah, it's the full salute was not. There's a car pulling into the car park. The full on salute is not something that I was expecting.
No, no, and we've not even considered the fact that other people will have seen that as well. That's the thing. Other people
Yeah,
will have seen him do
yeah.
that and be like,
And
"Whoa."
honestly, that's kind of what worried me the most. And this is where it goes a bit deep. Like, what kind of society do we live in now that people can just do that, assuming that they weren't calling me a Nazi? It's like it's supposedly a show of solidarity. Like, who does that and expects no repercussions? Like in High Lane on a sunny Thursday.
Do you think, in hindsight, it was the wrong idea to roll your window down and return it?
I have no comments.
Oh right, we'll leave it there on Nazis. I think that's as good a place as any to leave it. We've
Probably
definitely left the
West.
show on worse. Right, I'm going to go and watch the last 10 minutes of the England game because we're
Oh,
apparently
enjoy.
losing.
Ah,
I don't think
nah,
there's no enjoying it with England.
no,
No.
no.
Set up for a summer of failure in the US of A next year, or Canada, or Mexico. Exciting. Say goodbye to everybody, Hannah.
Bye.
Bye.